time it breaks. Doesn't matter, weak or strong. Take your time and do your tricks. All I do is sing along. Yeah, I need you around for brighter light and firmer ground. When you believe in me, love is gonna set me free.
Good evening and good evening and good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul, where I'm your host, Michelle Bolden Hammond. And I am pleased to have, I say my frequent flyers.
Yes.
So audience, you are in a treat for tonight because I have someone. You always talk about, the audience writes in and tell me, oh, you always doing stuff inspirational, I'm living through. Well, I have someone here who can motivate you and get you to value yourself. So Dr. Sheniqua Johnson is here with us tonight, and she's coming to motivate us tonight, and she's also going to come to talk about, following sometimes the trends may not be so good, may be good, but then where do you see yourself into this? So Dr. Sheniqua, thank you so much for saying yes and coming to tonight to feature us with your lovely self tonight.
Well, thank you. Listen, anytime one of my sister friends call, I am on it. So it was an immediate yes. There was no hesitation. It's like, when do you want me? Where do you want me? Like, let's do it. So I'm honored to be here with you once again. And thank you for always being such a gracious host and extending your platform to help me to push my agenda, right? Because we all have an agenda. We don't want to act like we don't have an agenda. We have to be intentional. So I am intentional about where it is that I go and what it is that I do. So I'm grateful that you always open up the door for me to come and to be able to share and to push this message of hope and motivation and encouragement so that we all can be better, right? That's the goal, right? We're trying to get our minds, our bodies, and our spirits correct. So we got to make certain that we are listening to the right thing. So thank you for having me as a guest.
So, look, she just segued right into the first question because maybe someone tonight may not know. You might be your first time here at Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. But Dr. Sheniqua, can you tell the audience, what is your background and what is your experience?
Okay, well, I am Dr. Sheniqua Johnson, aka Sheniqua Inspires. So what I do is I aim to motivate and encourage you so that you can live your best life. And I have been in the wellness space for over 20 years. I served as a registered nurse. And God just kept opening doors. He kept opening doors for more opportunities for me to expand on the gift that he had given me, which is to help to bring about that healing. So I took what I've learned in school, going through the bachelor's and the master's degree programs. I took what I learned and I was able to then apply it to my own business. So I am the CEO and owner of two businesses. I have Stronger Through Faith Media, which is a publishing company. I also consult and help people in the media space, helping them to start their podcast and get media recognition and get on other podcasts and things of that nature, that media side. But then I am also the CEO of A Better You, which is my wellness company, where I am a wellness strategist. So we come up with strategies and solutions, right? We don't just talk about the problem. And I think that's where I was in the space in the hospitals. When I was in the healthcare setting, it was the problem. We focused on the problem. But now it's like, what's the solution? So what I do is I help people to stay accountable to what the solution is going to be, whether it is you want to start a business, whether it is that you need to lose some weight, whatever it is, whatever those goals are. I am an accountability, or as I like to call it, a purpose partner, and I help you to see it through to the end. So that's really a little bit about me. There's so much more. I mean, I'm so multifaceted, but sometimes I just be trying to just snip it, give you the basic parts to it. But there's so much more.
And you see, oftentimes people always ask that question because I get it all the time. I just want to ask you get this. How do you do it all? But here's the thing. First of all, we're practicing wellness because when you talk about wellness, it's just not, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you got to look at the whole three part, the mind, body, and the soul when we look at that. And you're right, purpose partnering. It's good to have someone that's going to hold you accountable in your mess or in your good stuff.
Yes.
Let me say that again. It's good to find a purpose partner who is going to find you in your mess and when you're not in your mess. And you know what? The in between, because I don't even really want the in between because I really want you to help me move forward.
Yes.
And this is what we together, sis.
Yes,
this is how we roll. And we also know who is the meaning behind this. I always tell people, they was like, well, how do you do it all? It's because one is God.
Yes.
That's initiating this.
You put the period there, but yeah, keep going if you like.
Number one is God, and one is when I aligned with the purpose.
Yes.
When I align with the purpose. Now, the alignment for each one of us is different. But when we align with the purpose, he actually given us the follow in the plan. It's just that sometimes we might divert to the left and sometimes we might divert to the right. But when we hit that straight path, this is through the experience. So, we can go to school, like you just said, you did your master's, your doctorate, you're doing all of this, but it's really the experience that's really authentic for the clients and stuff that we reach. So
yes, absolutely.
Definitely. So to go to the next question. So Dr. Sheniqua, what inspired you to in this realm? What was that purpose kick?
Well, I would consider myself, for right now, I'm on a new journey, right? When I started in business, I started out a Better You in 2013. So when I first started out in business, I just knew, because I was living and walking in purpose, that the clients were going to come. I was going to help you with your mind, body, and spirit. And I was going to help people find this place of joy. And it's a place where everybody should want to be. And I slowly but surely began to realize, just because you are living in purpose and you've got this plan together, it does not mean that it's going to work out. Because truth be told, the clients didn't come. The clients didn't come. And you wonder, like, wait a second. Well, God, I know you told me to do this. Where are your people? Like, why would you have me do this if you were not going to send the people? So I spent years in that business, but God had to work something out in me. He had to show me something about myself. Fast forward to present time, where I was working. I was a corporate facilitator. I was a darn good one too. I was training case managers. So when they were hired into the company, I was the one who was running their orientation, their onboarding. And anytime there was anything new or updated, I would be the one who was doing the training. And I was making a really good, I was at the top. I was really at the top at my career ladder. And this was a great place for me. I said, yes, Lord, I'm at the top. I made my 6-figure mark. I was doing the darn thing. But I could not let go of what it is that God has showed me with my business, right? So there's always that other side to us. And as I was working at this job that I just thought was so perfect, everything was so pristine, I was still, working on my business a little bit here and there and getting my training and doing all of this stuff. But then I got to a place where I realized I wasn't taking care of myself. And going to the even down to going to the doctor's appointments, I was always checking with my work schedule. So I would look at my work schedule, and then that would be the determining factor as to whether or not I would go to the doctor, or I would have this test done or this procedure done. Everything was surrounded by this job. Because I'm a trainer. I love what I do. I'm committed to what it is that I'm doing. And I said, I can't take the time off because I have to be here to do this. But then slowly but surely, God had to start showing me some things. And he's like, well, what do you value? And God tells us that we're not supposed to put anybody over him. And we are an extension of him. But yet I was putting the job over me. Right. I'm the first person to say family first, all at the job talking about, my family first, but your actions don't line up with that. Your mouth is saying, and it sounds real cute and sexy, but your actions are not abiding by that. And are you not your own family? So it got to a place where I started to get really, really ill, and I had to make a tough decision. And I decided to take the time off from work to take care of my well-being. Well, I'm that type of a person that you can't even give a Monday off. Don't give me no 3-day weekend. Don't give me no 3-day weekend because the girl ain't gonna want to go back. I don't want to go back to your place. It's like, Tuesday? Oh, no, right? So I'm out on disability. And during my time out on disability, God had my attention. He had my attention. He had my undivided attention. I didn't have to jump up and jump on the computer. I didn't have to, stand before a class and train and all of this. I didn't have to do all of that. It was just me and him. And during that time, I got really, really comfortable with God. We got to know each other inside out. And when the doctors were saying it was time to go back, I said, that ain't what I'm getting in my spirit. My spirit is not telling me that. And in fact, my spirit was giving me the green light that it was time for me to walk away from my 6-figure job. Right. And the reason why I had to make that tough decision, and circling back around to your question, the reason why I had to do that was because I had let go of my own well-being. I sacrificed my own well-being for the sake of a career ladder, for the sake of money, for the sake of another company that would care less if I was there or not. Sure, they were slightly affected by my absence, but you know what? They could replace me in a second. And I had to learn to put me first. And once I did that public display to say that I put me first, that's when the alignment started. Right? When you talked about getting into alignment, it was like God was like, okay, if you move, I'm gonna move. Like, let's just do it. And that's when the floodgates started to open. That's when the premise behind the business became crystal clean and clear, that there was no mistaking what the purpose was. And that's when the clients started. That's when the invitations to speak and all, that's when everything really started to rev up. Once I got crystal clear on why I was doing this. And the reason why I was doing this was to be an example. God had to use me as an example, right? We see this in the Bible. When we open up our Bible, there are a number of examples. There's Moses, there's Sarah, there's Jacob. There's so many examples in there, right? There's so many examples. And we are actively the modern day. If someone was scribing this story, this fiasco that we go through, we would be the modern day examples. So God is literally using me. He says, well, no longer can you just speak that wellness is a priority, but then your actions, how hypocritical is that? Right? If I'm out here trying to coach you and teach everybody else about putting their wellness first, and I haven't done it. Right? Sure, I drink my water and I mind my business, but I mean, seriously, what else are you doing, Sheniqua? So I had to learn how to walk it out. And once I started walking it out, and it then began to make more sense. And that's kind of like the modern version of my why I'm in this space as a wellness strategist and solutionist, why I'm in this space as an accountability coach. It's all because I had to walk this thing out. And now that I done walked it out, I'm like, all right, y'all, let's do it. Because I know it's possible.
Yeah, that you said you touched on some things there. Well, when you're talking about you can't go out here, you practicing what you preach.
Yes.
And that's how he had to identify it. And okay, you want to do this, but are you doing it correctly? Especially if you're exemplifying from me. So we gotta, that's what we gotta look at to this when we're in this talking and coaching. That is so relevant, like today's time, because I can remember now, Sheniqua, I don't know if you can remember, but when I started back with the International Coaching Federation way, way, way back, like in 2005, I can remember them saying, you got to know what your niche is. I can remember that so fondly, but then they were like, it's going to be so many niches here in the future. Now, this is before Tony Robbins and all of those folks started coming out. This is when, and now I said it's like there's a coach for everything. There's a coach for everything, but it's making me wonder: is a lot of that is people are not in the alignment. I think I'm gonna go down to the question about, because this is like the trend now. The top is coach. So any trends that you favor, and I know you authentic now, and I know you're very authentic just as well as myself, but are there any like typical trends? Because we know now the coaching thing is a trend. Anything can be a coach. Anybody can be a coach. If you can, a coach to make seeds. So it's just one of those things. So is there any updated to any of these trends that you favor over one over another?
Not necessarily. I don't subscribe really to trends as much. Jesus is my trend, I suppose, and I've been rocking with that for like 20 some odd years. So, and trends can be fleeting, but what I say is listen to the spirit. Like you really got to get to a place where you're hearing God, you're feeling God. It's like in a relationship, right? And I know you've been married for some time, and so like when you're in a relationship, like you kind of know what your husband's gonna say,
right?
If you encounter something throughout the day, and you're like, oh, wait till I tell my husband. I already know. Like you can go down the whole conversation. He gonna say this. He gonna like, what? No, they did. Like exactly what he's going to say, how he's gonna react, what his advice to you is going to be. Like you're gonna ask the question just for conversational purposes, but your man, what he gonna say, right? Same as like when you have children, what your children are gonna say, how they're gonna react. Like you kind of know this. So I say that we should seek a relationship with God where we already know what he's gonna say. I mean, first of all, his promises are yay and amen. We know he's gonna say yay and amen, right? So you got to get to a place where your actions are lined up, where you know what God is gonna say, like because it's already been said. You confirmed it, all of that good stuff. But as far as the coaching, I think it's great that we have coaches, and yes, you can literally have a coach for anything. But the key thing is having a coach for the right thing. And I can share from my own personal experience because one, I never considered myself a coach. And I actually used to run away from that term of being a coach. I used it because, again, it was trendy, but I kind of ran away from it. But you can't run from a definition if this is what you do, but it's the understanding of what it is that you do that's key. So if you're seeking a coach, you got to have an understanding of what this coach is literally going to do for you. And I always make this really, really crystal clear for people who want to work with me as an accountability, as my accountability client. I make certain that they really understand what my role is. And once upon a time ago, when I started out and I was hiring coaches, I didn't know what I was getting. I thought the coach was going to tell me what to do. right? You're going to tell me how to live my best life, how to get this business booming, how to be the best speaker. You're going to tell me what to do. Well, here's the key. Can't nobody tell you what to do. No matter how much you pay for it, if you pay 5K, 10K, 20K, it doesn't matter how, the more money you pay for it doesn't mean that, it's a better, because can't nobody tell you what to do. But somebody can give you advice.
Nice.
They
Yeah.
can guide you. And I think one of the things that makes me very unique is the motivating factor. Because it's not that you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm not coming in and telling you what you're supposed to be doing. You know what you're supposed to be doing, but you've been running from it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something that's holding you back, something that's got you running. Now that's where I'm going to hang out. I'm going to hang out over on that side of what's that thing that has you running from doing what you know to do. And then what I do is I light the fire under you so you can't stay in that place. You're going to want to get up and move. So whatever your goals and your aspirations are, you're now on fire. So you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? You're going to run with it. So when I come to you and I say, oh, here's a suggestion, you're going to run with it. When I come to you and say, have you tried this? You're going to run with it. Why? Because you're on fire and you're no longer stuck in that place. Right? So is it that I'm doing something, grand and magical and mystical? Absolutely not. But I have the strength to do what you don't have the strength to do for yourself. Because you can do it by yourself. I tell people that all the time. There's no secret. You can do it by yourself. But if you have an accountability coach, chances are you're going to do it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And you're going to go a lot further than when you try to do it yourself.
That is so profound because, that was going into the next question. You have this client. So, if you're feeling stuck or or unmotivated, it comes down to goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell that person? What would you believe to them would be the first step?
Before you even set the goal, because setting the goal is sexy. It's sexy, it's cute, right? It's the creative. Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Like that gives you that jolt of energy, right? Anytime you start, whether it's planning a party, a get together, a vacation, whatever it is, that's the fun part. So nobody's ever gonna get stuck in the fun part. It's the not so fun parts that gets you stuck. So it's going to be fun when you map out the goals. And I love working with clients and helping them to map out their goals because that's fun. But me as an accountability coach, I want to know why you haven't done it. So that to me is really the first step. Why you haven't started the goals.
That's it. That's
right. So it's one thing to say, okay, we're going to start with the vision boards. Everybody loves the vision board because it's fun. It reminds you of pre-K and you're cutting arts and craft like it's fun. But why have you not done these things? Because it's in your mind. You can map it out. You can cut the pictures. You can look for the pictures in the magazine. So if this is what you want in your mind, why haven't you done it? Is it the money? Is it the strategy? Maybe you're missing a strategy. Is it that you're missing, because one of the things anytime someone does something, who do they go to for support first? Their friends and their family, right? You write a book, you're expecting all your friends and your family to make you rich.
Pause.
Come on. The dramatic pause.
Pause.
Yeah. That's not wisdom. We're supposed to pray for wisdom every day, and that's not wisdom, right? It's not wisdom. And because of that, it burns, it stings, it stagnates you. And now you're not going to do it again, or you're not going to go further with it because nobody supported me. So that must be the why. That must be the why you haven't reached your goals yet, because of the support. So what does that tell me? It tells me you need support. And it tells me you need me as your accountability coach. Now, again, coach is a trending term. Don't let it trip you up. And I tell people, I don't even like to tell people that I'm an accountability coach. It's what I do, but it's not who I am. I am a multifaceted individual. I'm in wellness. I'm in media. I am all over the place. I'm a mother. I'm all over the place doing everything. And so are you. But I'm the example. I'm the example to say you can hit the stages and be a speaker, even when you want to be shy and coy, and you don't want. People would never believe when I tell people that I'm shy. They would never believe. They're like, "Get out of here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm totally an introvert." No, Dr. You ain't no introvert, baby. Please, I am. Trust me when I say that I am. But I know how to function on the outside. But when I come in the inside, yeah, come on. But we have to be able to identify where the area of problem is. And that's how you know who support. And that's literally what I do for my clients. I'm the supporter. And the ones that I have, I can't even keep up with them now because they got rollerblades on and they're like, shoo,
fire and gone.
And all I keep saying, what we doing next? And what we doing next? Because I'm right there with them. I'm not leaving them. But the minute I pull back and be like, no, I'm not going to be there with you, they're going to slow down. See, people don't realize how much they need a coach, right? It's like when you go to the gym, you can just sign up and go to the gym, right? You pay your $10, your $20 a month. You can just go to the gym. What are you going to do when you get there? You're just going to be fudging around. You're going to be sitting there riding a bike for 30 minutes and that's it. That's all you done did. All these equipment and all of this stuff in here, you haven't even touched. Why? Because you don't know how to use the equipment.
Right.
You don't have the motivation to go try something new. But if you hire a fitness trainer, coach, whatever in the wellness, now they can tell you what to do. They can show you how to do it. Now you grow more comfortable. Now you build a routine. So, on Mondays you do this, on Tuesdays you do that, so you got all of your strategy in place. Now you can go like clockwork. So whether your trainer is there or not, you already know what to do because you've done it so repetitively. What makes anything else, any other aspect of your life different?
Yeah, you're talking good. Good stuff. That's some good stuff here. So, as you said, Dr. Sheniqua, we both wear many roles. We both do wear many roles. But, another role that you have good penmanship with some books. So can you tell the audience if there's any new projects, some of your past projects? And I will tell you, I have gotten her some of her books, and it's very, I'm gonna let her explain it because it actually helped me. So
well, thank you. So so in addition to everything else I do, I am an author, and to date I think I'm up to about 15 books. Some of those books are collaborative book projects, but still have written 15 books. And my latest one is actually matching with your whole set, right? The Power of Choice. And it's prioritizing your well-being in a high-stress world. This book right here has been my platform for the past couple of months because this is the book that actually it didn't prompt me to leave my job. But after I left my job, I was like, what now? And God was like, you need to tell people why you left the job, right? Don't have nothing to do. Okay, yes, there was some tiffs and, the coworkers acting some kind of a way, but that wasn't a reason because I don't give man no credit like that. The real reason was I had to choose. And I don't need an organization that makes me feel guilty for choosing me or puts a time limit on how much time I can spend with me. Your 4 weeks, 2 weeks, that ain't enough. that ain't enough. And even when the doctor said I was physically clear to go back, this was like 2 months later. I was like, I ain't ready. So I had to reborn. I had to get reborn. And it was the power of choice. I had the power to choose my well-being over everything else that was going on in the world. I know your organization. I'm a key part of your organization, but guess what? I can't be there. And scratch can't. I don't choose to be there. Right? I'm never an advocate to tell people to leave their jobs, because it's not all pretty, and we ain't skipping in the land of milk and honey over here all the time.
There we go.
But there is a power and there is a strength that comes from knowing that you are doing what it is that you are called and purposed to do. So I wrote this book, and this actually released Juneteenth. It released on Juneteenth, and that was like my power to me, right? I'm free, where I thought I wasn't free. I thought freedom was something that I was trying to obtain, and I had to figure out the strategy and the way in order to obtain it. But what God showed me after I penned this book is that I was like Dorothy. I had the power all along. I was wearing the red slippers. I just didn't know how to use them.
Ooh.
I didn't know how to use them. And that segues back into the last question about the coaches. That's why sometimes you need a coach, because you have the equipment. You running around in the little red shoes, but you're still not getting nowhere, because nobody ever gave you the instructions on how to use them. And once I unlocked that power on how to use them, baby, ain't no stopping now. Ain't no stopping now. And I'm really living that life. Now, life is not always, like I said, it's not all sunshine and roses, but I am living that life. I am living that life that when I put it up on social media, people are like, "Ooh, how can I do that?" And it really isn't nothing but the grace of God. And he's no respecter of character. So what he does for one, he can do for all.
Yes.
Right. But we have to come into alignment.
There it is.
And it always boils down
to the power of choice.
To the power of choice.
The power of choice. Well, listen, audience. You have heard my special guest, my sis, Dr. Sheniqua Johnson. And this is where you can go to get that information. Go invest in yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with investing.
I say that all the time. You are investing in you. You ain't investing in me.
No.
You are investing in yourself.
That's it. Even with the services, all of that stuff that we do, we may do them, but you just don't understand the quality of you investing in yourself by taking the chance on people who are authentic and who care about your wellness. That I tell people that all the time. It's not even really about, it's never about the money for me. It's about me seeking for you to get the wellness that you need. And that's just how it is with us. So Dr. Sheniqua, is there any new projects that you're working on? I will say, your morning walks and your morning motivations, and I'll be at work sometime and I can click in a little bit. I can't watch it all, but I just love and I follow that in the morning. That's my little segue, because sometimes when I get to work, it's hitting me once I get to the door. So I will tell you again, audience, go follow her. She's telling you everything about how to get unstuck and get motivated. And I've seen her work. I've been on her panels and been in the conference with her as well. And so there's a whole lot of stuff here that you learned today, because everything intersects for a reason. There's a common denominator in your wellness.
Absolutely.
And the point of it is, it's the power of choice.
That's right.
So,
but I love how your platform is because when we say wellness, I think people think like not sick. No, that's
Right.
health. That's health. Health is the absence of, the sickness. We're talking wellness, we're talking well-being. So we're talking about the mind, the body, the soul, the finances, the emotions, the social aspect. Like, so people stop too short. They stop too short, right? So it's about helping people to understand. And yes, my morning walks, I thought it was about my physical wellness. Then I thought it was my mental wellness, but it was really for my spiritual wellness.
Yeah.
The
It does. You be
transparency.
tight. You be doing dropping some nuggets, and I'll be listening.
Look,
I be like,
however the
you
Lord
be
leads,
dropping,
whatever you
yeah,
tell me
you
to
be
say.
dropping them nuggets. You be dropping them nuggets in the morning, and I love it. And I was like, when I called, I was like, I got to do this. And we're in the second quarter, audience.
Yes.
So again, it's time to get those things in alignment. Don't be
Yes.
waiting on things. I'm always an advocate for, I don't believe that he gives you these desires. I don't think he gives you these dreams. I don't think that he gives you these umptions for you to sit on them, because again, you got to activate it, because faith without the works. See, people forget that. They just think, okay, but he's got to see if you're gonna trust him in this, whatever this is. And like you said, it ain't always a bed of roses up here. We put stuff on social media, but it's not always a bed of roses when it comes down to business, when it comes down, because you can win some, you can lose some, but because of my faithfulness, this is what you're seeing, the progression of my faithfulness and trusting and believing God. I give him all the glory for all the rewards, all the accolades, all of that.
Amen.
But people just don't understand what's the behind the scenes.
I didn't wake up looking like this, okay? I had to go through some stuff.
I have to go through and still go through some stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
That you wouldn't even imagine. You'd be like, if I wait to share that story, because you wouldn't even imagine what half the stuff but I will just say, because I trust him. Absolutely. And this is the fruits of his labor that he uses through me. He uses, I am just a willing vessel that I just let him bleed through me to show others the wellness, the mind, the body, and the soul. Because again, if all of that's all not aligned together, something's going to be out of whack, and eventually it's going to bring you to sickness. So
come on. It's true.
That's just it. So Sheniqua, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. And again, here is her website.
Please do. And there's some freebies on there. So there's a lot. I'm telling you, the website is very multifaceted. Okay, so you're gonna come in and out a couple of times because there's a lot over there. There's the wellness side of me. I have the A Better You Academy, where I have some courses available. My shop got all the books there. So there's a lot of space to just look around, and like you at the mall. So think of it as going to the mall when you go over there. But I welcome everyone to send me their email address. So if you go on the website, there's a box that comes up, and you can put your email address in there so that you get onto my mailing list, that you get the newsletters that I send out. You keep up to date with all the multifaceted things that I do. And I am working on a project with one of my clients, right? And you're going to watch the magic happen when two come together. And we're going to be doing something for mental health and entrepreneurship. So I'm excited about that, supporting people through the entrepreneur journey. And it's just a beautiful thing just to have someone that you can partner with. So I do invite you all to take a look at my website, sheniquainspires.com. And I think if you go /freebies, you can get the free gifts that's on. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff on there. So if you're going to go to the mall, spend the day at the mall and enjoy.
Hey, and you ain't going to have to call. This is not going to cost you. This is, see, she just said free. You can
freebies. Yes.
So there it is. You got a whole shopping mall. There's the information that's running right across the screen here.
Love it.
So
love it.
again, Sheniqua, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying yes.
Anytime you call, sis, you know.
We gotta get together again in person.
Yes.
We got to get, I'm trying to figure this in. So
All
we
right.
trying to get this together, get up there and let's get it.
It'll work out.
It'll work out and it's in the timing and the alignment. There
Exactly.
we go. It'll work out. So audience, as I leave every week, I always say, if you don't know that you're loved, just know, or if you don't feel like you love, just know that you are loved here at the Upfront Mind, Body, and Soul. Until next week, be blessed. And hey, take care of that willingness of mind, the willingness to take care of the mind, the body, and the soul. Until next week, take care.